today on Color Outside the Box podcast.
And more audits are coming up. So why not start a legitimate business and get your actual deductions so you can pay less in taxes?
Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. Well, good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Color Outside the Box podcast. This is your hostess, Princess Miller. We are back with Miss Jonesia Turner. How you doing, Miss Jonesia?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Last show was so good. I'm so excited about this show. We're going to talk about taxes on this show because even as we were talking previously about the different laws that have taken place since we got number 45 in office. Don't we love number 45?
You gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Gotta pray for them.
Yes, right. Pray for all of our leaders.
Yes, ma'am. So let's talk about taxes. A lot of times people think tax season is the season where I get my money. I'm going to go shopping. I'm finna get a new car. I'm finna get a new house. Talk to us about what can tax season do for us?
Tax season this year can do a lot for you if you use your refund wisely. And that's what I recommend to a lot of my clients, because you never know what life is going to bring. And if you're one that gets a tax refund this year, take that refund to invest in yourself.
Yes.
You know, you may need a new car, but don't go buy a lemon.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, if you had to put a down payment on a good car, then do that. You know, pay your bills off. If you got some credit cards that you need to pay off, pay those off. You know, or some other little bills, maybe a doctor bill or what have you, or utility bill that's built up, because we know in certain situations, the wintertime is here, your power bill may have doubled. If you're living in certain areas, water bills have tripled.
Yes.
You know, so take this time to pay off some things and invest in yourself this year.
Yes. And one of the things that I definitely want to bring to people's attention is that just as you say, we can use that tax refund in order to pay bills up or pay bills off, but we can also use it to make our credit better so we can live a better life. That's one of the purpose of Color Outside the Box podcast, is to help people live their best life. And one of the ways that we could do this is using those tax dollars.
Yes. You can use, you know, our last show, we talked about the different things that make up our credit score. And one of those things was payment history and credit utilization, and making sure that things are paid on time. So with your refund, that's why I was telling people, go ahead and pay those debts off, because you want to bring your utilization down. You don't want to be maxed out on those credit cards. And another thing that I'm telling people with their refund, if you're getting a refund, know that you're actually loaning your money out to the IRS without getting any interest back.
Wow. Now that's a revelation right there.
You know, so take this opportunity to refocus and not just get your credit together, but go ahead and fix it where you can pay your bills on time during the year. Don't wait until tax season and say, oh, I'm going to get this $3,000-$4,000 so I can pay this bill off. Well, if you got your money during the year, then you won't have this debt that's built up over time, because there's a way for you to get your tax refund during the year. And I encourage everybody, the IRS has put it out there. It's on their website, irs.gov, what is called a paycheck checkup. All you need is your pay stub and your most recent income tax return. And you go out there and you put in how you file, how much money you're making, and it will tell you how you need to adjust your W-4 with your employer. Because in some cases, too much is being withheld in taxes from your earnings. And for some people, it may be too little with all the tax changes that have occurred over the last year. because we know a lot of things that we were able to do before we can no longer get. A lot of personal exemptions that we were able to get before we no longer get. You know, they've doubled the standard deduction, but you don't get those exemptions anymore.
Well, talk about some of those exemptions that we no longer can file for.
Well, you know, you used to be able to get an exemption for yourself, or if you claimed your children, you got exemptions for the number of children that you used to be able to get, which allowed your income to be decreased and the amount of taxes paid, you know, lower. Well, we don't get that anymore. Now it's just your standard deduction. And so, unless you're itemizing, your itemizes more. But a lot of us don't have over $18,000 of itemized deductions. You know? So on the federal side, that's not going to help you. So now the best thing for you to do is stop loaning the government your money. Go ahead and see, okay, I'm getting $2,000 back extra. I'm getting $3,000 back extra, you know, at tax time. What can I do to get my money during the year? Go out there to the IRS.gov website and figure out how you need to change your W-4, because a lot of us don't even think about changing our W-4s at work.
No.
We do it once we get hired on and we leave it.
Or unless you have a child or something like that.
Exactly. And you never think about going back and adjusting it. But now with all the changes, I encourage everybody to do a paycheck checkup on the IRS.gov website and go to your HR person on your job and redo your W-4. I redid mine. One time I used to not bother about it too bad, because I'm like, okay, I just get my money back at tax season. I'm doing pretty good during the year. But shucks, I find out I'm loaning out an extra $200+ a month.
Wow.
I want my money.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, I went and I fixed my W-4. And I encourage everybody to do the same thing. And that way you can pay your bills on time during the year. You won't have to worry about taking out a whole bunch of loans, because you can use cash. You got the cash flow during the year to take care of your business and not having to wait to tax season. And that's what's going to help your credit. Paying things on time, the history that you have over the time showing that you're paying things on time and you're not building up a whole bunch of debt, you're staying out of it. That's what's going to help you.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, I remember when I was a TV producer and I would go to these car lots. I'm going to call any names. I would go to these car lots and shoot commercials. And they basically had a system. They knew at tax time, we're going to pump, $10, $15, $20,000 in advertising, because we're going to get these people to come in. They have low credit, no credit, tow up credit, and they're going to give them a luxury vehicle. I mean, that's when they bring in the Cadillacs, the BMWs, because they know at tax time they're going to come get these vehicles. And within 3 to 6 months, they're going to go back and get those vehicles. And so you then took your tax dollars. Number one, you let them file for you. And they take that money, they put it towards your down payment. And so let's say you put $3,000 down payment. $3,000 down payment. When maintenance is needed, or, just life happens, you don't have the money to pay for that vehicle 3 to 6 months later, they're coming back and they're getting that car. You out of $3,000+ because you didn't think about, have a strategic plan on how you were going to go about, using your tax dollars.
A lot of people are ripped off at this time. And it's sad that they will sell you a lemon or sell you a vehicle, and they know that you're not able to make those monthly payments, or they know that this car is going to break down because you didn't invest in a good, solid car because of the amount of money that you had available at that time. And yes, they're either doing it or they're getting somebody to do it. And if you're not careful, because, we're able to give our clients what is known as advances, during tax time. And people will charge you $500-$600 just to prepare your taxes, and you don't even see it. All you're looking at is, okay, I'm going to get my $3,000-$5,000, but you're not seeing the rip off on the front end. And I don't believe in ripping people off, personally. But you have to watch that when you go and allow these car dealerships or people who are connected with them, when they file you, to make sure that they're not robbing you even in their fees. And then make sure that you get a solid vehicle. Yes, there are some companies who have good cars for $3,000 and $4,000 that's going to get you from point A to point B while you build your credit up. And they will last. But go to a reputable person who's going to be honest, a person of integrity, who's not going to rip you off and sell you some junk.
And then another thing is, when I was in college, I bought my first and second car when I was in high school. And then I started having some problems with the car. And when I got to, I wasn't having problems with that second vehicle. When I got to college and everybody had a new ride, guess what? I needed a new ride too. And so 18 years old, don't know anything about credit, totally oblivious to, how that situation worked. I went out and purchased a new car. And I couldn't afford the insurance, basically. So they were ready to get my vehicle because I couldn't afford the insurance. I can afford the note, but I couldn't afford the insurance. But because I had nobody, trying to educate me in this process, I went out and purchased this vehicle that I really couldn't afford. And the car ended up repossessed. And so someone older, matter of fact, my pastor, I had a conversation with him, told him what was going on. He said, listen, you're in college. You don't need no $300, $400, $500 car note. Why don't you go to the auction and purchase you a vehicle? No car note. You can afford the insurance. You can go to school and you won't have to worry about taking less classes because you got to work more in order to pay for this vehicle. And that's what I did. And even when that vehicle was good for about a year, and then I started having some issues with it, he said, now you need to trade this vehicle in. Don't go get you another $300, $400, $500, $600 car note. Go get a vehicle that you can afford no more than $200 at a smaller car lot and build your credit. Now, I made a lot of mistakes, especially when I was in college. We talked about credit and them credit cards. Oh, as they were sending them, I was getting them.
And they prey on college students.
And that's what I learned after the fact.
People perish before a lack of knowledge, but when you know better, you do better. And they prey on college students with those credit cards, and they say, you got to have this and you got to have that. I remember, I think Discover was big when I was in school. So
I had a Discover card.
Yeah, so everybody was getting a Discover card. But you have to be wise in getting those things. That's why I tell people get a secured card over a regular credit card because you know what you've put on there, and that will help you build your credit, because it's not good for you to be in a whole bunch of debt.
No.
And this tax season, don't go out getting in debt. Pay your debts off that you already have and build your credit up.
Or take the opportunity to get with a tax or credit consultant. Not a tax consultant, but a credit consultant such as yourself. And Miss Jonesia has a wonderful business where she's changing the lives of people by helping them get, out of debt, helping them to get higher credit scores so they can get the house that they want or the vehicle that they want without paying the price that they say you're supposed to pay.
Exactly.
And so but I'm trying to encourage you not only to utilize this opportunity, but she has a deal that I want you to tell people about. That's anybody can afford this deal. Tell them about this deal to get good credit.
Yes, anybody can afford this deal. When I was telling you about investing in yourself with your tax refund and the way that the taxes are set up now, the main way that you can actually save with taxes is to start your own business. And because, like I said, you only have that standard deduction that's double. But if you want to cut your income down to where you pay lower taxes, start your business. And right now, to build your credit, I'm with a company now that's called My Econ. And it teaches you step by step how to build your credit. And because you're in business, you get tax deductions, tax things that you can write off.
Yes.
Your mileage on your car, your home offices, your when you go off and travel, telling people about your business, and other deductions that normal people can't get. And right now, you can actually get started for under $50.
Yes. That is awesome.
And then afterwards is $34.95 a month. And with that, you can learn how to build your credit, how to invest, we come together as a group, and it shows you how to invest in your stocks and bonds